This is a hot take, but I seriously think that every man out there needs to know the story that I'm about to tell you. So, Marie Adler was just a teenager when she was charged and convicted for filing a false police report about being raped. Then, 2 years later, states away, a serial rapist was arrested, and they found photos of Marie's essay on his devices. Because what do you know? She was telling the fucking truth the entire time. So in August of 2008, Marie Adler woke up to a masked man holding a sharp kitchen utensil that was taken from her kitchen to her throat. He then used her own shoelaces to tie her up. He blindfolded her and he essayed her for hours. Marie obviously reported this to police, and after they had interviewed her a few times, some of her details weren't adding up. Her story had changed a little bit. There were some inconsistencies. And if you know anything about dealing with trauma, this is very common for anyone who has survived any sort of trauma, but especially for victims of SA. But police found the whole thing unusual. First of all, stranger essays are way less common than being essayed by someone you know, someone that you recognize. So this was already pretty uncommon. And then with everything that just wasn't adding up, they were becoming skeptical of Marie. What really kind of sent them over the edge was when one of Marie's former foster mothers, because Marie was actually living in an apartment by Project Ladder, which is basically this community project that helps kids aging out of the foster care system get housing, like cheaper housing. And one of her former foster mothers had actually contacted police saying that she wasn't really sure if Marie was telling the truth, and she basically just thought that they should look into it. Now, part of the reason that this former foster mother was skeptical, same with police, was because she just wasn't being as emotional as people expected. She seemed very reserved. She wasn't crying. She was just like telling the story, like, hey, this is what happened to me. And it wasn't what people expected. So police start pushing Marie. They're pushing her harder and harder and being like, well, you said this the first time. Why did it change to this? And all of these different things. And eventually they asked Marie to write a statement admitting that she had made this up. And she did. After a while, she got a lot of backlash in her life for being a liar. So she went back to police and told them, like, hey, that actually wasn't true. I was telling the truth in the beginning that this did happen to me. And I just got so stressed that I told you it was a lie, but it wasn't. And I want to refile the report. At that point, they threatened Marie with arrest. And so she went back again and said, okay, I guess I was lying, because she was scared. She didn't want to be arrested.